Call the meeting to order for Thursday, July 7th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Spence?
Here.
Administrator?
Present.
Mayor?
Here.
Solicitor?
Present.
Fiscal Officer present. Mr. Merriman?
Here.
Mr. Mattern?
Here.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Here.
Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have the minutes before you from our June 6th meeting. A motion be in order to approve.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Is there anyone who would like to speak before council tonight? Please come forward and state your name.
Hello, my name's Oscar. I'm a village of Wintersville, Ohio. I'm speaking on behalf of the Sensible Moving Coalition. You may have heard of us. We're launching an initiative.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Which, representing who?
Sensible Movement Coalition.
Sensible. Okay,
Yes.
I've never heard of it, but what's it about?
We're launching an initiative in Wintersville to decriminalize marijuana to $0 and zero time. It's a citizen-led initiative. I have a copy of that with me, and you can see it if you like. I have the petition as well. Wintersville is in a unique position. We had the first dispensary open in Wintersville, the first sale here in Wintersville. I think Wintersville could be an innovator in this regard and lead the charge when it comes to decriminalization, and hopefully that leads to legalization at the state level. We're working with a few state representatives now. But if we could take advantage of home rule, we could start here in Wintersville, and hopefully we could be an example to the rest of the county and the rest of the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Provide us information, please. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak tonight? Seeing none, we'll move forward. I would like to request we go in executive session for personnel matter.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you.
Motion to come out of executive session.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you. Reading of resolutions and ordinances.
Okay, Resolution 2019-10, resolution authorizing Mayor Bob Gale to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvements and/or local transportation improvement programs and execute contracts as required.
We need first read's fine.
Okay. Resolution 2019-11 is a resolution authorizing Mayor Bob Gale to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvements and/or local transportation improvement programs to execute contracts as required. That is a first read.
Yes.
2019-12, a resolution authorizing Bob Gale, Mayor, to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvements and/or local transportation improvements programs and execute contracts as required. First read. 2019-13 is these are going to be our ordinances to certify the water, sewer, and all that. This is an ordinance directing the village clerk to certify delinquent water fees to the Jefferson County Auditor's Office for placement on the real estate tax duplicate as liens and to be collected with the real estate taxes. That's a first read. 2019-14, an ordinance directing the village clerk to certify delinquent sanitary sewer fees to the Jefferson County Auditor's Office for placement on the real estate tax duplicate as liens and to be collected with real estate taxes. 2019-15 is an ordinance directing the village clerk to certify grass mowing charges to the Jefferson County Auditor's Office for placement on the real estate tax duplicate as liens and to be collected with real estate taxes. And
2016, I put it in everyone's packet. I just got this late today. I'm not 100% sure if it applies, but I need it before August, so I'd like to pass it tonight.
Okay.
And then if we don't need it, that's fine.
Okay. 2019-16 is a resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Village of Wintersville on behalf of the state of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its sewer fund for the sanitary improvement Phase 5 OPWC project number CT56W and CT57W with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio. And you want to waive?
Suspend the rules?
Yeah, suspend the rules, okay.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Dekenkop?
Yay.
All right, 2019-16, second read. It's a resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Village of Wintersville on behalf of the state of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its sewer fund for the sanitary improvement Phase 5 OPWC project number CT56W and CT57W with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio. 2019-16, third read, a resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the Village of Wintersville on behalf of the state of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its sewer fund for the sanitary improvement Phase 5 OPWC project number CT56W, CT57W, with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the state of Ohio.
Motion to be in order to approve Resolution 2019-16.
So moved.
Second. Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Dekenkop?
Yay.
Thank you. Motion passes. Reports and announcements. You have the police report for the month of June before you. 151 complaints, 236 incoming calls, 12 accidents, 20 cases, 22 alarm calls, 7 juvenile cases, 23 arrests, 1 other arrest, parking violations 6, vehicle impounds 3, out-of-town assistance 9, auxiliary hours 96. You also have monies collected fines in June of 2019 of $1,306.47 for a total of $10,461.69 for the year. You see the mayor's report. You have total to the village $4,966.34, to the state $1,065.50, other $243.97 for a total of $6,275.81 for June. You have the code enforcement report, 22 licenses, 1,100, 23 permits, 872 for a total of $1,972. There have been a lot of calls and reports today with water everywhere. Unfortunately, with all this rain we're having, lower elevations are taking a pounding. Behind here at Gumps, it's basically was like a river. You have issues actually over on Mr. Merriman Street as well. We have problems over in Meadowbrook. I had a river in my backyard on Stardust. It's just, there's just too much rain coming too fast. And again, I have the people, I have the crews out looking again at manholes and everything to make sure they're emptied, cleared out. It's just too much water. You have people at lower elevations. You have gutters that are just draining out into the backyards. Down in, you have water coming off the road, parking lots. There's just too much for the system to handle. And unfortunately, the top, the water's coming down. When it gets to the bottom, it's too full, coming too hard for it to fill at the lower elevations. It's a difficult situation, and I feel for all those affected. Again, we'll continue to review the situation, but I want to give everybody a heads up. All right, thank you. Administrator.
First item in your packet is our 2019 paving project, bid recap, recommendations. We're looking at Meadowbrook and Squirrel Hill, the Grandview cul-de-sac, second part of Luray Drive, and then striping Caddis Road. Hopefully in a couple years we'll have some money to resurface Caddis Road from the BHJ. Shelley and Sands was a low bidder, approximately $1,800, and I want to recommend them for the low bid. The intent is to get it done this year. We talked to them, and as you see what happened today, everyone is really behind. They are guessing late October, early November, if at all, this year. We told them we'd like to have it done this year, and we'll see what works out, but the paving schedules are really thrown all out of whack. But this is a partial issue 2 project and our funds, and a recommendation it's awarded to Shelley and Sands.
Question. So the amount of grants and the amount of our portion is what? How much?
Our portion will be approximately $134,000.
And what did we budget this year?
I think we budgeted 100,
So we're short 34.
correct?
All right, so my question would be, can we pull Array Drive off of that for now? I mean, that's 44,000.
We can pull array, and there's some patching on Meadowbrook that didn't work out when we did Beechwood, just because of the subbase and everything. There's another approximately 35,000 we could save on Meadowbrook. I'd like to have the option to do one or the other.
I'm saying for council to go ahead and approve Shelley and Sands, but I think at the end of the day, we should try to keep it to the funds we have
Right up to 200.
budgeted.
Yeah.
Okay, we can pull array.
All right.
What, Mayor, what about the striping doing,
Striping, I'd like to get done. I mean, he shouldn't have to wait till,
No,
Yeah.
that can get done sooner. But
Okay.
we'll pull array from the contract.
I just think we just don't have the 34,000. I mean, but, you know what I'm saying? I think, and we'll have to look at Lorraine next year with Fernwood.
Okay, yes.
I had just a comment on Walt, how paving's been pushed out. We just got a project completed over at South Chemical last week that was originally scheduled for April. That's how the rains have just pushed everything back. So there's no doubt that, the intent to get it done in 19, but you see what's happening outside, and we haven't even hit, some issues yet with possible more weather. So keep up the good work, and also, I guarantee a big shout out will be coming from the residents on Grandview.
It's just
Oh,
a
I-
cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Just so we're all on the
That-
same page.
absolutely.
Okay?
Yep.
So basically, just so we're all in agreement, Lorraine's out of here, so you pull that 44,000 out, and it still keeps Shelley and Sands as its lowest responsible bidder by removing that. So I just want to make sure legally, we are covered there as well. Correct. So motion be in order to approve this 2019 Shelley and Sands with the exception of Lorraine Drive, post 2.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman? Mr. Maturin?
Yay.
Mr. Dakenthal?
Thank you.
Yay.
Okay, next item, we've advertised the Knowles 2 project for bids. I had a little mix-up in some of the quantities. We rebid it. We are opening the bids on July the 25th.
190.
I see our next meeting is scheduled for August 1st. If that happens to change, I'd still almost like to have a special meeting for 5 minutes to award the contract if we do not meet on August the 1st, so I can get this project going. We'll have a recommendation for that Knowles 2 project at that time.
Question. What exactly, is it something we can do now, Mayor, prior to, or we have to
No.
do it at
Bids
that?
come in.
All the bids
Yes.
bids have come in, okay,
Yeah.
I got you, Walt, okay, I got you.
We'll get the bids in and then we'll get
We'll
it
see,
done.
okay, all right. Next item is amendment for the Phase 5 engineering agreement. The original agreement amount, $190,000, has already been paid. This is to increase the contract by $215,500 for the bidding, construction, and administration, project inspection, and then post-construction drawings and whatnot. It's with W.E. Quicksall and Associates. I had Mr. Becker look at the agreement just to make sure everything was okay, and he concurred this is fine. So I'd like to have this approved to keep the Phase 5 sewer moving ahead.
We need a motion.
Yes, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yeah.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yay.
Mr. Maturin?
Yay.
Mr. Dakenthal?
Yay.
Next item is a spring cleanup recap. It was another huge year. Took us several days each week to pick this up. You can see the tonnage has increased dramatically the past 2 years, 75% increase. We've gone from an average of 63 ton a year to 110 ton a year. And of course, the landfill costs are going up also. I didn't include any of our labor costs. We did have some prisoners from Sheriff Abdallah help us out, but, we've had some issues We get, one box is kept up at the top of the garage site, and
big problem.
even before Monday, people had filled a whole roll-off box with garbage. So, and, you know, we have no idea whether it's our residents or out-of-town residents, but, you know, these
Again,
costs are going up.
I spoke to Walton and Perry, we need to look at something next year to try to keep those boxes so people can't get into them. Unfortunately, I mean, you'll look at the numbers, it was 34 tons in week 4.
Yeah.
We had the same problem last year, week 3. It's just, people are going in there and filling up these bins before we even start. So what happens is, not only can we not pick it all up on Monday, we have to go back Tuesday, we don't have nothing to put them in, because it takes the company time to come take the box, bring it back, and it adds cost, because they're expecting to only have 5, you know, but they're using 7. So it's just an added cost on the village, and not just the cost, it's just, we lose another day of employee
Doing
production.
other stuff, yes.
Productivity is not happening.
Mayor, is it any kind of way that the company, they can kind of like cap those boxes or cover them, or can we just fence it in? We need to do
So,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the extra
Looking.
cost, if you put a fence up, it pays for itself.
We're going to look at that, but we have the carpet place there also that becomes an issue.
Oh,
so-
I'm talking about box to box, fence
Well,
to
the
box.
boxes are all the way from the top, all the way
To
down
the
to the bottom. Like, it's
Yeah.
just- There's not enough room over there.
Oh, my. All right.
What about, what if we had them over here? By the police station, dump here. We'll think about it, we'll have different ideas. At least the
Yeah,
police
we'll
are
come up with
controlling.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they got some cameras.
All I'm saying is, I can tell you right now, probably a good, if you look at the cost before, 3, 4, prices haven't gone up that much. You know, you look at the tonnage, how high it's gone up. It's coming from outside people dumping here, and it's really for our residents. And again, we talked about, you know, trying to have possibly 2 a year. Well, you can't, because it costs, the one is killing us. Right. So, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I had just a couple items for the resolutions. 2019-10 had initially scheduled next year for Fernwood Road and Grove Street here. We'll be adding Luray Drive to that also. These applications will go in, I believe, they haven't set a date yet, but it'll be either late October or the first week in November for the public works. So that'll be our paving plan next year, will be Fernwood Road, Grove Street, and second part of Luray. 2019-11 is trying to do a system-wide upgrade to all the meters in the village to radio read meters. Mayor and I have talked about this for a while. We've applied for some ARC funds. We're on the contingency list for that. This is to apply for issue 2 funds. It's a substantial $900 million project, but all the meters would be read in one day. They're also, with these new technology, we can tell if your toilet is running in the middle of the night, it's going to show that usage. Plus, with all new meters, many of our meters are so old, we'll probably see an increase in revenue because we don't feel that people are being billed. The meter isn't actually reading right. So again, this is going to be competing statewide, but we're putting in for it. And
And again, it's gonna free up an employee that goes out.
there won't
and
be
reads
2
meters.
weeks, 2.5 weeks of meter reading. So we'll be able to do other
This is a
projects.
grant you applying for?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Good job.
There may be a small loan also
Good
with
job.
it to get the points.
I
And
like
then
grants.
the final one, 2019-12, it's Sunset Hills Estate subdivision. It's going to be a new subdivision down off of Craigle Road. It's in the village. And we're able to get a 50% match with the owners to, will be public roads, water, and sewer there. Be about 26 or 8 lots, very nice sized lots, an upscale subdivision for the village. So again, that's going to be statewide competition also, but we're working on that. So-
That's land that's already in the village?
Yep, it was annexed probably 20 years ago. The only other 2 items I have are just some things to read. The gas tax increase took effect July 1st. We will be seeing in 2020 about an additional $100,000 from that increase. So again, that will help to for our paving projects, drainage projects. I think, as I said earlier, we're on a 17-year cycle paving our streets. that's with getting several $1 million in grants, so it's prices, the paving prices have gone up every year. They've more than tripled since I started.
Remember, the salt price went way up as well.
Salt
next year.
also, yes.
This year?
For next
Yes,
year,
yeah, for this year. So that's just shown about the tax increase for
It
here.
was aggravating, again, I have a call in the Attorney General's office. This went up 10 cents, but the gas price went up 40 cents. Again, it's they're gouging, because they had a chance to do it by increasing. You go across the river, where our gas was usually probably 8 cents less, now we're 30 to 40 cents higher than West Virginia.
Yeah.
All because of this. There's no doubt in my mind, they use it as an opportunity to raise prices and gouge everyone. So hopefully that comes back into alignment. It's just insane.
Yeah, because this went up to $2.95 today. I mean, one day is
Yeah,
40 cents
big
cheaper,
jump.
one day jump like we had war yesterday or something. I don't know.
And the last item is just something that's in one of the magazines. I know you all know how technologically proficient I am. So a couple states are going towards digital license plates. I don't have any clue how this works. Part of the article I read with this, they're using it in Arizona where it's dry all the time as a test. So whether it will work here, I don't know, and I have no idea how this would even happen. But
What is digital?
read the article. I have no idea, but it's apparently coming if other people
not
see their
metal.
way. But that's all I have, Mayor.
Well, you brought up the 2019 paving schedule. Over the past couple of weeks, I had
Yes.
a couple questions about Main Street between Kroger's and Wendy's. It's my, I hope I'm throwing you a softball here. It's my understanding that's the state road there.
Correct.
And we have moved up some
State is
dates.
supposed to do it in 2021. We spoke to them trying to get it done this year, based on the traffic, based on the oil company and the gas company tearing it up. They said there was no emergency funds to do it this year. They would move us up to next year. So that's the hope.
Thank you for the clarification. That's what it was asking.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No,
We need
that's it.
Seeing none, Mr. Chief, please.
I'd like to introduce Paul Euler, who's our newest full-time officer, and I'd like council to approve his probationary status as a police officer. Paul is a 27-year-old man who graduated from Indian Creek High School in 2011. He spent 3.5 years in the Army with overseas experience. And he's also working towards his associate's degree as we speak. Paul was put on auxiliary, and he has shown us that he's capable of this job, and he has the heart and the will to do it. So that's the reason I'm recommending him for probationary full-time employment.
Okay, what was the date, his probationary period start?
He doesn't actually start on the road until this Sunday, so
Okay, well, again, council doesn't need to do anything at this point.
No.
So as of Sunday, that will be the 14th,
I believe so.
right? So 6 months from the 14th, as standard practice, he will be brought forward to council for final approval for permanent employment. So as of now, he's on a probationary period, starting July 14th. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Mark. Thank you for your service.
Glad to see you.
The only other thing for council is just to advise council, the Wintersville Police Department received a certificate of recognition for having the DARE program for 25 years. The DARE program was started by Sergeant George Woods, who was active until a work-related injury forced him into retirement. I've been a DARE officer for 16 years, and Officer Sam Pinkerton's going to his second year. We received that award. Myself and Sam accepted on behalf of the village and the police department on, I believe it was June 23rd, at the DARE Awards Day. So I just want to inform council of that.
Okay, that there.
Congratulations.
Who's that? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Randy.
I told him congratulations.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I was just going to say, where that work comes from the state, or where does it come?
It comes from the Ohio, it's an extension of the Ohio Association of Chiefs of Police and the Law Enforcement Foundation of Ohio.
Okay. That's all I got, Mayor.
One other thing before you leave. We've had great comments from the school with the resource officer. looking at the numbers that we had projected last year, the cost, what the school was giving us, and what we had allotted for in our DARE program and our grants that we received, we were well under budget in meeting those needs. So it was a very good win-win. Proposing that we would do it again next year, that we continue to, but the school has to get us a contract. So at the next council meeting, I'd like to approve that contract again for another term. Okay? So, get the numbers for everybody. So we have that, so just so you can see the numbers, that they fall well below the estimates I think that we made. And I think we were conservative at that point. They're well below that, so it worked out very well. Thank you. And thanks to the council for allowing us to try this out. It worked out well. I have no unfinished business.
No.
New business. Mr. Martin.
New business. No new business.
Mr. Spence.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Becker.
No new business.
Ms. Jean Angel.
No new business, sir.
Mr. Merriman.
No new business.
Mr. Madden.
I got a couple. Randy brought up that he tried to get on the ordinance page and there was some problems with it. Is there something up with the ordinance page? I think on it our- just
switched A new company took over
Great.
monitoring it, so instead of clicking right to Wintersville, it gives a list of all the communities in Ohio, and you have to click on it.
Yeah. Just
It's
like you
a
had
few
Kent.
extra
Yep,
steps.
that's what happened. I did that
extra
on my
steps.
mom's. Okay, all right, that's fine. So it's working.
Keith, you're back there. Is there a way that we can do something to fix that off our website? Okay.
Huh. All right, thank you.
There you go.
He'll fix it so it goes straight
Well,
to
figure
you.
it out.
There
Okay.
you go, Maron, you're good.
Him or Wall to fix it, one of the two.
Good one.
All right. Was there a discussion about changing the meeting in August?
Yeah.
Or is that later? We don't know about that yet?
I don't know yet. We'll have to bring it up.
Okay. Two regional planning, I attend the regional planning meetings downtown Steubenville. Two little things came on up. There's a program that you could enter that several people from our community could go ahead and visit another entity and give pros and cons on what they see for first timers seeing there. And they will reciprocate. And it would just be a way to say, hey, here's a different set of eyes coming into a similar community. This is what we would do. We would put flowers here. Just how to enhance the village. It's a free program. If you want to follow up with it, Betty Lou would be the girl on that to try to hook you up. And it's a program through the state, and it seems legit and all. The second thing is, last time we was down there,
1 second. It's just plants or it's other things?
listen, they'll come on by and say, we love the entrance into the village.
Okay.
It's for taking a look at what they would change or what they would enhance.
Will they pay for it?
Oh, no, they won't. No, they won't pay. They'll come on in and say, move this pot and move this and whatever. But
we don't
it's
need
just a
advice.
different set of
We need
eyes
outright.
that's gone throughout the state that seems to be successful in some
Killing me.
entities. All
There you
right.
go. Thank you for the clarification.
The other one was a guy from the census was down there. His name was Samuel Knight, and there's been some words on the census coming on up. Regardless, it's important that every resident in Wintersville gets counted, okay? And he's talking about different programs where you can come and work with the census and help count. And he did a little detail on that. So I'm gonna leave that with Walt, and a little outreach is all it was on the census. Also, I left his card there. Betty Lutar or this Sam Knight would be a good guy to talk to. That's it. Thank you.
Well, again, the beautification and the entrance, I appreciate that. Just again, for council's clarification when we do our budgeting for the year, if you look at the east part of town, where we have nice sign, it was redone probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I want to do the same on the west end of town. If you look at that, I mean, it's outdated, it's, it's faded, it's real bad, and I think that needs replaced in the free shrubbery.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you look at it, you'll see it really looks bad coming in.
I'm sure the program I described is a little bit more sophisticated, but just to skim the surface.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's what they are.
But no money.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that
We don't
one.
want to overdo it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We have a transfer, I'm sorry, Mr. David.
The only thing I have, and we touched on it obviously with, I had an email regarding Fernwood Road, and we've had some conversations about it, and now we know it's on the plan for 2020. And then the issue we discussed this evening with the water and the massive amount of rain, thanks for looking into that. I know that's really tough. So that's really all I had. It was pretty much covered before I got to it, so thank you.
Perfect, thank you. There's a transfer before you. Motion be in order to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yeah.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Payment of the bills.
So
Motion be in order.
Second.
Comments or questions? Pay the bills.
So moved.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yeah.
Mr. Mattern?
Other than an abstention on 41580, yay.
And Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
Thank you. Is there a motion to select a council person tonight?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to step Dr. Ross.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yay.
Mr. Spence?
Nay.
Mr. Mattern?
Yay.
Mr. Merriman?
Yeah.
Mr. Degenkolb?
Yay.
We
Thank
have
you.
little,
So our next meeting will be August 1st, 7 PM. We may have, as Wayne said, an earlier meeting. We'll let you know once these bids come through. So a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, meeting adjourned.